Hey y'all, okay, so I'm getting real results here. Working out with LASHAE Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and taking my ISOT, y'all. I am really getting it in. Y'all can get these booty bands, y'all can get cute little workout outfits and everything from teamlashae.com. The link is down below in the description box. Okay, check out these results right here. Get into it. Y'all should also check out Waist Knot Beads. She sent me these and I really love them. But yes, y'all, get onto this ISOT. I know they tell y'all it's a scam, but it's not. Like, look at me. And let's not forget about LASHAE. Get you some. Come on now. Get all moisturized and such. Let your natural hair live. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue and I am back with another Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop edition. All right, y'all. So the episode starts off with where it left off last week, which was with the whole Zavon Willie brawl kind of winding down and Erica still causing issue. But you know, we just kind of like, whatever, Erica, whatever. Nobody's jealous of you. It's not about you. Let's not rehash. Let's move forward. Let's move on, okay? And she's just like, whatever. It's how I feel about her. She annoys me. That's just where I'm at with it. But Devon and Willie talk and they squash their beef. Yay, we're so happy that the men could stop acting like teenagers for 5 minutes and squash beef that they shouldn't even have. And it's so funny to me that Devon is like, you know, yeah, I just want to be the bigger person because I don't want to have to be beating anybody's ass. And it's like, but dude, first of all, you didn't. And second of all, you the one talking about, you know, we're brothers and they're sisters and all of this and that. And you the one that came to Willie with the let's make up, you know, situation. So I personally feel like you need to check your energy, sir, because I don't like your energy, okay? I'm gonna just go ahead and tell y'all, Devon's energy is just, I don't feel safe, okay? Let's move on. So Ricardo has decided to slow down his drinking. And I'm grateful because nobody wants to continue to go through this with Ricardo. Like, I don't even know when he's sober and when he's drunk now, because everything that comes out of his mouth is just like some drunken, belligerent argument. Like, that's what it always is with him. So I assume that he's always drinking because I have not seen this great person that Tony says he becomes whenever he's not drinking, okay? But because he slowed down, that's making everybody feel a little bit better, including Tony. And I'm just kind of like, girl, I guess. Okay, because it seemed like y'all done been down this road a couple of times before. So him drying out for 5 minutes on just beer, I don't know how much that's going to do for all of the dysfunction of their relationship. Like, it's exhausting. And I feel like Judge Lynn put it perfectly at the end of the episode, and we're going to get there, okay? So look, the boot campers have no idea that they are a part of an exercise. Devon and the rest of the women are to watch as Hazel and the rest of the men, okay, all of the, you know, kind of sort of, you know, alpha, you know, people in the relationship, I guess. Like, I just noticed how Hazel was the only woman a part of their group and Devon was the only man a part of, you know, the women's group who were watching as this podcast is taking place. And everyone is just expressing their true blue feelings about Marriage Boot Camp, what it has been like for them, what they feel like the issues are in their relationships. And a lot of it is problematic. First of all, Ricardo calls Tony an enabler because apparently she upsets him and that causes him to drink. But he neglects the part where he was already drunk and did something to upset her, and therefore she got upset with him, and therefore he continues to drink. But that is not by definition what enabling is, okay? Enabling is when you are helping somebody with your, like, you know, behavior. You're helping them continue on a destructive path, okay? You're helping the situation. She's not encouraging him to drink. She's not giving him the money to buy the liquor. She's asking him to stop. Okay, what she is doing is still being in a relationship with someone who at this point is more of a burden than any blessing, you know what I'm saying, in a relationship. Like, what is he bringing to the table that is positive at this point for Tony to still be here arguing and fighting and crying and cleaning up vomit for him? Like, I just don't understand. I don't understand. Vado says that Tahiri is bothered by the fact that he's so vocal while they're there in the house versus how he is in private. And so here he says, yes, I have a problem with the fact that you are so vocal when there's an audience. But when it's just me and you and I'm needing communication and reciprocation, you're not giving any of that. Okay? Child, Vado looked like he could have been one of Martin's nephews, the illegitimate children. Like, I don't know what the age difference is, but Vado gives a Martin T, don't he? Hazel brings up the fact that it's an ongoing joke between she and Devon that he's a sugar baby and she's a sugar mama. And he doesn't find that funny. Like, he's tired of her bringing that up. You know, if it's a joke, let it be a joke. But obviously it's not a joke because you're always bringing it up. Medina talks about how he and Phaedra are both alpha. You know, she's an alpha female, he's an alpha male. And it seems as if they're both waiting for the other person to take the leap. You know what I mean? And of course, they talk about how he's not getting the twizard. Okay? Speaking of Martin, you know, Vado, because Vado was the one that said that. And Martin said that in Boomerang, in case you didn't know. Okay? References. Know your black movie 90s references. Okay? So, yeah. And Shonda says, why is that his main thing? Like, you know, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I hate when women act like sex is not an important part of a relationship. Like they're not interested in it at all in comparison to the man who seems to be thirsty for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just annoyed by all of that. Because if sex didn't matter, then Shonda wouldn't be, you know, also cheating in the relationship. And Phaedra, you know, wouldn't be out here with her ass out most of the time. Like, give me a break with this shit. You're a freak and you know it. Now, whether you and Medina's relationship is real is the damn question. Willie starts to talk about how he started the cheating and, you know, then Shonda cheated and now everything is just out of control. And Willie says, like, it's a process to make the changes. And that's when everybody is like, oh, so what you're saying is you haven't stopped cheating yet. Like, that's what you're saying. And Shonda is watching him and she's like, he's saying it like he cheated and then I cheated. And it was like, no, he cheated, he cheated, he cheated, he cheated, he cheated, he cheated, he cheated. I cheated. He cheated, he cheated, he cheated. He's still cheating. So at this point, here's my thing, Shonda. Why are you still in this relationship? Like, a lot of these relationships, I just kind of feel like have run their course. And I don't understand why you are sticking around for all of this foolishness. At everybody's age, we're all too old to have to argue with people about these types of things. Shonda should not have to fight every day of her life with this nigga in the cheating. You know what I'm saying? And he shouldn't be miserable in a relationship. To me, it's bothersome that you would marry somebody that you were so unhappy with that you start cheating immediately after you get married. And then for the rest of the relationship, you're still with her, but then you're complaining about how, oh, I cheated because our relationship was so terrible. Then why did you marry her, Willie? Make it make sense. None of it makes sense. Then Ricardo shares with them how Tony is upset with him because he had an artist who he was working with, some young girl, come to his hotel room. He says he didn't smash, but Tony says that's a lie. So Ricardo definitely smashed. So on top of having a substance abuse problem, you're also a thought. Oh, that's great, because that's what we need. Mental, emotional abuse with someone who can't be responsible for themselves on top of cheating. Oh, a woman's job is never done, is it? Then we get into Devon and his anger issues. You know, they go into how he and Hazel got into it because he was DMing some girl. Okay, now me personally, I am at a point where I feel like this is immature. Like, why are we still in each other's DMs doing them? Like, y'all, can I be honest? I'm not checking my man's phone like that. He not checking my phone like that. Like, why are you still in people's phones looking through DMs, Hazel? You too old for that shit. Like, whatever his ass gonna do, he gonna do. And no amount of you screaming and howling and throwing water bottles is going to change that. So either deal with the person you with or leave it alone. But all of this, you know, I gotta spy and find out what's going on type of stuff is exhausting spiritually to me. So yeah, like, I just choose not to do that. And also in the past, for me, things have fallen in my lap. I don't need to look for not a damn thing. If something is going on, it'll be revealed to me. But when they got into it about the DMs, he ends up tackling her. And she's scared that one day he's going to put his hands on her. Now, he says he would never do that, but we all know that, you know, shit happens in stages. First, you're upset. Then you're hitting other stuff. Then you're hitting me. And it happens like that. So I don't think it's as, easy or simple as, oh, I would never put my hands on you, but I'm just going to punch walls and throw phones and break your property and shit. Like, no, we're not doing that either. Like, I don't understand why people think that things aren't abusive just because they're not like the worst. Like, it's still bad. It's still bad. It's not the worst, but it's bad. Like, stop comparing shit. Sometimes let it be exactly what it is in the moment. Stop comparing it to what, I did to Tina, or what Chris Brown did to Rihanna, or whatever you want to think of in your mind that makes you think that whatever he's doing to you is not that bad. Like, stop that shit. If it makes you feel like shit, it's that bad. Vado is still talking to one of his baby mothers. The problem with him talking to this baby mother is he, confides in her in a way that he doesn't confide into Harry. And that makes me feel like Vado might still have feelings for the ex. And that also makes me feel like it's a possibility that this is just for a bag. But I also feel like Vado and Tahiri are not the type of personalities that could really fake a relationship for this long with cameras everywhere. Like, I feel like at some point it would just be known that they don't really like each other. And I don't think that's what's happening here. I just think it's surface level as hell. Like, there's nothing deep about this connection, at least not that I've seen. Medina says that if he wasn't in this dynamic, then, he would have been, then told Phaedra something with the clapping of the hands. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what that means, but that's not going to move Phaedra. Okay, but I do feel like Phaedra likes somebody to I do feel like Phaedra likes somebody to grab her by a weave or something like that, grab her by a ponytail and then tongue her all in her mouth. Like, that's what she want. She don't want somebody that's going to be tiptoeing around her. She act like that's what she want, but that's not really what she want. Like Hazel said, she wants somebody to control her. Personalities like Phaedra that are always in charge, always on top of everything, single mother. Yeah, when you get with a man, you want to feel like he's going to control the situation and give you a fucking break. Like, I can tell you right now that's the phase that Phaedra is in at this point. I don't know if the situation with Medina is real. I would have liked to see what happened with her and the radio guy, because that was a real relationship. Y'all haven't even had sex yet, which makes me feel like this isn't a real relationship. That's just how I feel. So, whatever, Medina and Phaedra. So, the podcast hoster, I forgot his name, whatever, the host, brings up how there was some text messages not too long ago that came out, Willie was texting, DMing some girl. It was inappropriate. He didn't feel like it was inappropriate until Shonda read the shit out loud to him. And that's when he was like, yeah, this is stupid. What am I doing? And I'm just like, how many times y'all got to go through this? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times does this have to happen in order for you to realize how disrespectful you are being? It's obnoxious, okay? So after everybody, rejoins one another and the conversation starts to happen about the women in Devon seeing, their partners have these conversations in which they thought they was going to be free to talk and say whatever they wanted to say and had no idea that people were going to be watching them. But I think it's amazing because it was for a podcast. Why did you think that anything that you said was going to be like unheard? Eventually it was going to be somewhere. So I just kind of was like, people are stupid. Anyway, so Tony tells Ricardo that she heard everything he was saying. And he was like, what? It was a podcast. She was like, no. They set y'all up so we can hear everything that y'all was saying. Oh, well, that's some bullshit. I'm like, whatever, Ricardo, whatever. They talk outside and she's upset with him because of the things he was saying. Like, why are you always trying to blame me when you have done so much to make me upset? Like, you're complaining about me being mad at you. Like, I don't have a right to be mad at you for the things that you do. Shit goes missing in my house. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? You go for binges on days of drinking and acting like a complete asshole, like some zombie dickhead. And I'm supposed to just be smiling and okay with it all the time. Like, that's just so ridiculous. So at this point, Tony is pissed. And he turns around and tells her to shut the up. And she was like, oh, no, don't tell me to shut up. Okay, you shut up. All right? So she was like really upset about that, as anybody would be, okay? Vado just laughs it off once he finds out that Tahiri heard everything that he said. He laughs it off. Medina and Phaedra talk about how, he feels like he's trying to be respectful of her, and it's coming off like he's some type of lame, as if, she, in a corner giggling about him or something like that. And I'm like, that's exactly what it feels like, Medina. I'm like, I ain't gonna lie. Did other people she was with have to go through this? That was the question that was asked during the podcast. And that is what, has now planted itself in the back of his Jerry curl is, did anybody else have to go through all of this to get the draws? Like, what's happening? So Shonda and Willie talk about it, obviously. Shonda tells Willie that he needs to take responsibility. It's always saying, I was wrong. But dealing with the consequences of that, he don't want to do that. He doesn't want to deal with the fact that, I'm not over it just because you said you were sorry. He tells her that she needs to take accountability for the fact that she makes his life miserable. And I'm like, the fact that you can even turn around and say that to her when her making your life miserable is a result of you making hers miserable, is just amazing to me. How you could like punch somebody in the face, and then when they cry and scream at you and say, why did you punch me in the face? You're like, oh my God, why are you upset at me? Like, calm down. Like, that's what he's doing. And it's so like annoying and infuriating. It is just obnoxious and tiring. And I don't know how you can be in a relationship with someone if you're always having to have these types of tiring ass arguments, when it should be made clear at some point that the nigga just don't respect you. So Devon and Erica argue about her sugar mama comment. I just don't understand why we have to keep saying it, okay? I'm a man, and you're not gonna run everything. I'm a man, and all of this type of shit. It's like, you about to have a temper tantrum, you're upset because you said that you was a sugar baby, you're a sugar baby. Like, sorry, y'all, but he's a fool. He's a fool, okay? And Erica is scared of him, and that is unfortunate, because you should never be paying the bills for someone who you're afraid of, period. After Tony finished arguing with Ricardo, she comes back in and joins the conversation with Vado and Tahiri and everybody. And Vado is asking, if he did something wrong. And Tony is like, well, yeah, like the way you talked about your baby mama, that's a soul tie. That's somebody that you're still emotionally connected to. And that is a cheatation. Whether you want to admit that or not, emotionally cheating is cheating. So Vado gets up to go and fix himself a glass of champagne. And she's like, I wonder if he's going to fix me a glass of champagne. Let's see if he fixes me a glass of champagne, whatever. And so he starts pouring glasses for everybody along the way. And then when he finally gets back to his seat, he hands her a glass. And she's upset because she didn't get the first glass. I want to be with a man that's going to give me the first glass of champagne. And even though I do understand what she means, it is insignificant. He brought you the glass of champagne. And I did agree with Erica when she was like, stop expecting a nigga and putting him through a test he don't even know he going through, especially when he's never been the type to do those things in the first place. Why are you, asking something of someone who's never done it? Don't expect it. Like, you haven't even asked it. That's the thing. You haven't even asked it. You just think he's supposed to read your mind to know that you need to be brought the drink first. It's just stupid. So I did agree with Hazel there. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, sometimes Hazel is very much so telling the truth. She, can definitely read certain situations for what they are. I just don't understand why she can't do that internally. Vado says that he don't understand why she can't just take him as he is. I'm like, you can't take her as she is. I don't understand. Like, you complain about her just as much as she complains about you. You know what I mean? But she doesn't take him seriously. And I'm like, then why are we here? Child, anyway, Dr. Ish says that they need to learn how to listen to each other. So he calls them up couple by couple with these big old posters of each other's faces. And, one has to hold the other's face up and give their argument. Y'all have seen this in therapy, with couples all over the place. They always tell you to give the other person's argument so that you can validate what they're going through. Willie and Shonda go first. Willie basically just mimics everything that Shonda says that he says. So it wasn't even like he was really trying that hard. You going out on the road and you gonna mess with them bitches because I'm mad at you because you was messing with them bitches, and all of this type of stuff. But then she says, do you know how many bitches want me? I can have anybody I want. This is what Willie, says to her. It's what she receives. It may not be what he says verbatim, but it's how she feels about what he says to her and how he says it. And I understand exactly what she means, because he comes off like, the type of man that feels like he's entitled to treat her like trash because he's a man and he's fine and all of that. Child, y'all a dime a dozen. Willie says that she has selective hearing and, he doesn't like to get fussed at every second of every day. And Dr. Ish chimed in immediately and said, well, she doesn't like to have her heart broken every second of every day. You do that though, don't you? Then Dr. Ish asked for Willie to repeat what Shonda said. And Shonda said that she feels like they keep going through the same thing over and over again. How many times do they have to go through this? He couldn't even remember that she said that. And Dr. Ish was like, because you're not listening. Because you're not listening. So now understand why Shonda talks to you crazy and screams and hollers, because she feels as if she's not being heard. And let's not even forget, not respected, okay? He needs to learn how to listen, understand, and validate her feelings. Even if he doesn't agree with them, he needs to at least let her know that he was listening. And he never does that. So Devon and Erica go next. And he has girls in his DMs and, she's putting him on and she's, giving him clout. Y'all know, they same old arguments. And Dr. Ish points out how they're playing nice. They're not really digging deep into what their issues are, like the fact that Erica is a little bit scared of Devon. She feels like he doesn't have a middle. At one point, he can be calm, and the next moment, he's beating the shit out of the walls or throwing her, $1,000 cell phone. They need to learn how to argue about one thing at a time. So Erica will pile shit on whenever, and I've seen people do this. They get upset about one thing and then they pile on a whole bunch of shit that we've already argued about or that really is insignificant in comparison, just so they can be like, you did this, and this, as if it makes their argument tougher or something like that. But that's what she does. Tony and Ricardo go next. He always tells her if she doesn't like what he's giving or how he's doing her, then she can leave, and it's just very dismissive to not have any appreciation for somebody doing everything for you when you can't do it for yourself. She says the thing about it is he'll tell her to leave, she leaves, and then he'll call her, oh, you don't miss me? And she's like, what's to miss? I'm like, girl, I've been saying the same thing. Dr. Ish says that their thing is that they need to learn that this fight for him to get sober is their fight and not just his. And I feel like she needs to get out of that. They are not married, and at the end of the day, that should not be their fight. He a grown-ass man. And I'm going to tell you why that shouldn't be their fight. Because she's not a wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, you haven't given somebody the commitment to further give up, themselves for you in such a way. It just seems like take without having to give anything. And that's what bothers me about that relationship between the two of them. I wouldn't even want to be married to that nigga. But I'm just saying, like, you won't even, give me a commitment, but you want me to be cleaning up your throw up every night. Child, bye. Vado and Tahiri talk about him opening up to his baby mama and how, she calls him a child all the time. That's what they say to one another. He's upset because he feels like she mothers him. Well, nigga, if you didn't need mothering, she wouldn't be mothering you. Okay? And she says that she didn't know that he was talking to his baby mother about their relationship. And she would never do that with one of her exes because she knows them niggas always trying to get back. So they looking for an in, and you giving your baby mother an in by talking, to her about whatever's going on between me and you. Yeah, he foul. Medina says that Phaedra is always teasing him. Okay? And of course, Phaedra with the same old, he needs to step up, set up. Like, you don't even know what you want him to do, okay? Dr. Ish says, you know what? At the end of the day, I have not seen y'all kiss the entire time y'all have been here. So I don't even know what's going on with the two of y'all. But what y'all do need to do is learn how to enjoy victories. Hell, have sex. But do something in order to get shit going. Because ain't nothing really happening and we arguing already. Judge Toller comes in. And she tells Tahiri to stop tripping about shit that don't matter as it pertains to Vado and that champagne glass stuff. Like, stop worrying about stuff that doesn't really matter to y'all's situation. Vado needs to learn how to reciprocate if he wants to be treated like a grown man. Meaning a woman is giving, give back. Stop just sitting there staring into the damn space while she's trying to engage with you. Okay? Then Judge Toller tells Shonda that she needs to let go of her anger. And the next time Willie tosses the ball her way, she needs to catch it. And Shonda says something about how if someone hasn't been through it with you, it's easy for them to tell you to let it go. And what I want to tell her is if you can't let it go, you need to let the damn marriage go, Shonda. Period. Judge also says that she doesn't understand what's going on with Phaedra and Medina. She doesn't know whether they just picked up the phone one day and decided to come to marriage boot camp, or if they too busy trying to front, so they're not actually engaging in an honest way in order for them to figure out what the issue might be. And I'm like, it's fake. Phaedra says that they haven't really been on many dates, but she figured this would be a good time to figure out what could possibly happen between the two of them. I was just like, what? So you want to be on a reality show that bad, huh? You've been really trying to get back on Real Housewives of Atlanta and they won't let you. That's what this tells me. And my favorite part is when Judge tells Ricardo how Tony takes care of him. Even when she's angry, and she has every right to be angry because he is such a hard person to deal with. When she said that, I was like, thank you. Thank you. She said, you are so much to work with. And you need to honor the woman who is holding your sickly, disgusting, drunk ass up. She didn't say that, but I did, okay? Then Judge points out to Erica that she said Devon has no middle, and that is scary to her as well. And she does not want him to end up in jail, so it is best that he gets his emotions together. And I thought he said something very interesting in the confessional, that he needed to hear it from someone he respected and not just his girl. And that's when I was like, so you don't respect Hazel? Yeah, that's scary. Ooh. Anyway, after Devon says he's going to stay downstairs to smoke with, Votto and whoever else is sticking downstairs to smoke instead of going upstairs with her. And she like, why are you trying to stay downstairs with some people you don't even know? You should be trying to work on your situation with me, But he stays downstairs. She goes upstairs, gets in the bed, and talks on the phone with her best friend. When Devon comes into the room and she talking about him, he like, who you on the phone with? And she was like, don't worry about who I'm on the phone with. Y'all know how we be. Nigga, don't worry about who I'm talking to. If you was up here, then you would know who I was talking to, but you wasn't up here. You wanted to be downstairs talking to them niggas, so guess what? Don't worry about who I'm talking to. Okay? Look, I was right there on that one. He jumps on top of the bed. Now, I ain't gonna say he jumped, but he did kneel down on her when he grabbed the phone out of her hand to see who she was talking to, only to see that it was her best friend. And I was just like, yeah. He a minute away from backhand slapping the shit out of her one day by accident. I'm just saying, I could feel it, like a build-up. Medina and Phaedra were arguing about, who's to blame. Like, just complete foolishness. Willie and Shonda are talking about what she wants from him, and she says she wants respect from him. Child, I don't know if you're going to ever get it. And Tony, of course, is still taking care of Ricardo, bringing him food, nursing him back to health before he goes on another binge. Y'all, that was Marriage Bootcamp. It was good. I hope y'all enjoyed the review. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I love y'all. I'm in this bitch in my Fenty on a Saturday night. Okay, y'all better know I love y'all. Y'all not going to get this video till Sunday, but still, I didn't want to have to pile it on Sunday like I did last week. Because, child, I was tired after that. But anyway, I'll see y'all in the next one.